It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. And it's all up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Music City. Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, and Nissan Stadium on the shores of the Cumberland River. So good to have you with us. Mike Tirico, Greg Olson. We are about set for kickoff. Greg, talking to the coaches all week. We're so curious to see what's going to play out here at the start of this one.
And ideally, I think each of these teams is thinking, okay, we think this is how the game's going to unfold. This is our plan. This is how we're going to go attack. And if that's the case, great. But very rarely does that happen, Mike. So it's really the team that makes the best adjustment in real time, in between possessions, in between snaps. The team that adjusts the fastest and the most efficiently, they're the ones that come the end of the game, they tend to have the advantage.
The veteran kicker, Dustin Hopkins, out to get things started. And off we go from Nashville. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. The Tennessee offense taking the field for the first time. They'll be led out by a young man who's making a name for himself, their rookie quarterback.
You hear people talk about it all the time, and it's especially true, Mike, for young rookie quarterbacks, is just the speed of the game. They had a lot of success in college. They were probably the best player on their team, but just everything is faster. Everything happens with a little more urgency. The quarterbacks at the young age that can make that transition the quickest, everything else then tends to slow down.
Connecting with his tight end, Okonkwo. And he's going to get this one out to the 43-yard line.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
These two in rhythm, 12 more yards and a first down.
Now this is the epitome of a really short throw and a really nice run after catch. And listen, for a quarterback, it all counts the same. You don't always have to throw the ball downfield to generate explosive plays, and these drag routes can be very, very effective.
And good yardage there after the catch. They'll wind up with a gain of 7 on first down.
The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
They'll look to throw yet again. He's got a man. That's Traylon Burks. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, I think it's pretty clear what the week's plan was, and that was to get the quarterback in a rhythm right out of the gate. You got to imagine as the game unfolds, they'll sprinkle in some runs. But so far, it's been their passing game to get this game started, and that last one results in a first down.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. That's caught by Van Jefferson. Now they are in business inside the 15-yard line.
There's this misconception out there, Mike, that in the NFL, you have to run the same amount of run plays as you do pass plays. And as you're seeing in this drive, you can fall on one side of that coin a little bit more as long as you're able to remain effective and efficient. So far, their passing game has dominated here early, and that last pickup leads to a first down.
They face 2nd down and 7. They'll run the toss. Here's Pollard. And that won't get a whole lot. Maybe a yard. That's it. Play 8 of the opening drive coming up, and now they face third down. Back to throw. That's to the end zone, but they can't connect. It's incomplete. Traylon Burks, the intended receiver. And now it's fourth down.
You could just see the reaction on the sideline. This defense thought they had themselves a critical stop. The mantra down here for all defensive coordinators, Mike, is takeaways, field goals. That's what you're trying to do, and man, they were this close to coming away with a huge takeaway. You know, they did a lot of good things on this opening drive, Mike. I know they stalled out once they got down there into the red zone. They're going to need to work on finishing some of these drives as this game moves along, but that's a good 3 points to start this game.
3 points on that opening drive. We'll see the response as the kick's away. DeAndre Carter on the return. And this will work out quite well. He'll get it all the way out to the 30-yard line. The Cleveland offense set to take the field for the first time. Leading them out, the veteran quarterback first-round pick back in 2017, Deshaun Watson.
There was a time, and it wasn't very long ago, Mike, that this guy was trending towards becoming one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He has to find a way to get back to stacking strong performances, one after another, and keep his team in the hunt. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, but if he plays well, his team is always going to have a strong chance of winning.
Watson going to throw right away. Now he'll run.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage unit, Mike. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself, and he's able only to pick up a short gain.
Second and 7. Out of the gun, Watson. He's got his man, the tight end, David Njoku. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short.
The drag route is such a good way to get the ball early into the hands of your tight end and take some pressure off the quarterback and give him an easy completion. The size and the athleticism allows them to try to pick up more yards, but do it after the catch.
They'll try and run for the first down. It's 4. That one good for 15 and a first down.
Each week coming into the game, every team in the league, Mike, places a huge emphasis on success on their opening drive. But the key to that is sustaining possession, converting on third down. It's exactly what they were able to do here, keeping the ball on the ground.
So they come to the line for first down and 10. They'll run once more with 4. And the defense was ready for him this time. Did not have the same room to run. That one's no gain.
Mike, I have to be honest. When offenses come up with run-play designs, blocking the corner is not really a big priority. But in this case, great job not only forcing it on the outside, but defeating the block, coming up and making the tackle, and keeping it to no gain.
And he's got Woods. It's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A terrific play all the way around, finished off by the receiver, who not only made the grab, but Greg turned it up and takes it into the end zone.
And that's the tricky part, Mike, that transition from receiver to runner. And in this case, he does it flawlessly. Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then get upfield and get yourself in the end zone.
Dustin Hopkins now to add the extra point. His kick is good. And the Browns move out to a 7-3 lead. Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. This one taken at the 7. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The drive starts. It's a carry by Pollard. And he's taken down on what should be the final play of this first quarter. 1 quarter in the books. 7-3 is our score. And we're back in Music City after this. They give to Pollard on the option. And he's bottled up after a gain of a yard. Now after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. The training staff going to look and will step out for a moment. Third and 6. He'll look to throw. That's taken in by Burks. He's going to have the first down, so they convert on 3rd down with a pickup of 9.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need, but really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And this throw batted away and incomplete. Calvin Ridley was the intended receiver. It's 2nd down.
He does a fantastic job, Mike, of not only locating the ball in the air, but then attacking it hands on hands. That's exactly something they work on every week in practice. Great job translating those drills into a live game.
That caught Tony Pollard. They get 10 yards on the hook up there. That's good for a Titan first down.
And these are the throws that when they evaluate young quarterbacks coming out of college, they want to see you be able to make. Everyone worries about how far you can throw the ball. And while that's certainly important, to be able to make the throws from sideline to sideline, especially in those intermediate zones, drive the ball through space. Because in this league, an open window is going to close in a hurry.
That throw right on the money for the former Miami quarterback, and it's a first down.
I'd like to see them do a better job here the rest of the game, Mike, just disguising the coverage from the pre-snap look to the post-snap look. And what I mean is, when you have a quarterback at this level and what they see before the ball's in their hands is the exact same thing they see once they do get the ball, everything is just so much easier for them to process. Change the look, change the coverages, move your safeties. Make the quarterback have to process with the ball in his hand.
Here's a 2nd and 9. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. Inside the 10, it is caught. And he's going to be brought down.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone. And this is where you have to finish drives.
Now a chance to pay off that big play. They have it 1st and goal. He'll drop to throw. This one caught at the 4. And they'll get this down to the 3, but no further. It'll be 2nd and goal.
It's not the big play they were hoping for, but first down efficiency, staying ahead of the chains, is what every offense is trying to find, and it brings up a manageable second down.
Ball at the 3, second down, and goal. They'll look to throw. He's got it at the 3. And he's in. Tony Pollard. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Now remember back, Mike, their first drive, they had to settle for 3. So they definitely didn't want to have to do that again. So really solid drive from start to end, and they're finally able to cap it off with a touchdown.
Joey Sly on now for the point after. The kick is good. And the Titans are on top. It's now 10-7. The touchdown. Here's Sly to kick it away. Carter on the return. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Browns offense about ready to get going on their second possession. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides. This drive kicks off with 1st and 10. Tillman, the man in motion. Look to hit him with the jet sweep here to begin this drive. And he'll bring this across the 30-yard line. It's a pickup of 4. Here's 2nd and 6. Watson to throw. And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him.
Early in this drive, they're trying to establish some offensive rhythm, but now after that second down sack, really puts them in a must-pass. You don't want to be in 3rd and long very often in the NFL. It's not a very high percentage conversion rate, and with the danger of a 3 and out, they better hold up here in pass protection.
Two minutes to play in the first half of a 3-point game. We're back to Nashville in a moment. So backed up after the sack, and now it's 3rd and long. A run straight ahead. That's Ford. A pickup of 12 yards. It's a Browns first down.
And a nice pickup there by the back with an explosive run play. And it's important to point out, Mike, this offensive play caller, he's still working off that opening script. It doesn't necessarily have to just be the first possession. Using formations, using run game and pass. Unmask the defense and understand where to take the play calling as the game unfolds.
A gain there of 27 yards.
And now you can see they're really getting in rhythm in this 2-minute drive. Now, after that last completion, Mike, they cross midfield. Now the mindset goes to, all right, we got to come away with some points. They've got a quarterback who's in complete control, and they got to see if they can finish this thing off.
From the 35, it's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, here's Watson. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the second quarter.
The Browns going to use the first of their timeouts here. Clock will stop with 34 seconds to go until the break. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. To the air again. Watson. That one is caught beyond the pylon. Cedric Tillman. Touchdown, Browns.
And that was just a great drive. Really from start to finish, Mike, you could see the play caller just really finding his rhythm. Mix in run, mix in pass. Results in the touchdown pass, but really everything they did, the entire possession worked to perfection. When you can sustain the drives like that and come away with touchdowns, man, that goes a long way towards establishing your identity for the rest of this game.
Now Hopkins on to add the extra point. He's got it. And the Browns are on top. It's 14-10. They didn't leave much time on the clock to put together a drive here at the end of the first half. And the kickoff's coming their way. This returnable from the 4. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Titans offense going to get it one final time in this first half. They trail by 4. A touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. That's to the outside, and he's got Jefferson. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3. Now they'll set up to throw. Looking middle, and he's got Ridley. They'll mark him down up at the 44-yard line. First and 10. He'll again get it to Ridley. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5. Back to the air one more time. And he'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
It's rare to see an offense that finds themselves trailing and say, well, their quarterback's been actually one of their biggest bright spots. Usually that doesn't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising to see him miss a throw like that on a day where he's completed passes at a highly efficient rate.
On 3rd down, they'll set up to throw. That's deep for the back of the end zone. That's going to be incomplete. They took a shot on the final play. Prayer not answered. And that is how this first half will come to an end.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. And welcoming everyone to our halftime report. These two teams leaving the tunnel, and we'll head out with them. It's time to send it back over to Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Coach, thanks. This one's still anyone's game. We'll see who can come out with the hot hand in this second half. About to get started. First half played out a bit as we expected. We'll see if there's a surprise coming up. Both teams set to go, and the second half is underway. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Browns offense looking to get back to work as we begin this third quarter. The lead sits at 4, so they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with 1st and 10. Open this drive on the ground with 4. And that'll be good for about a half dozen. It'll set up 2nd down. Shotgun snap to Watson. A throw. Right side, taken by Njoku.
Well, we'll give a little credit here defensively. Even though they allowed the 1st down, we've seen defenses really struggle bringing this big tight end to the ground, and they didn't allow him to pick up a bunch of yards after contact, but he was able to get just enough to pick up the 1st down.
Here's 1st and 10. A play fake. Now Watson to throw. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down.
We've already seen these two guys connect for a touchdown in this game, and had they been on the same page there, I think they would have been able to add to that total. Unfortunately for them, just a little bit off, and it falls incomplete.
And he'll take this ahead for a gain of about 5, and here comes 3rd down. Here's Watson. Here's a screen set up for 4. And this is not what they were hoping for. He is out of bounds, well short of the line to gain, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, when you call a screen play, of course, you're looking to catch the defense off guard and pick up a chunk play. You're not thinking you're actually going to find yourself going backwards, but that's exactly the case here, and really nice job by the defense sniffing that one out.
So on 4th down, the lefty, Corey Bojorquez to punt for Cleveland. Mason Kinsey going back to maybe take this one back. Now a fair catch, and it's going to be a long field. They'll take over right about their own 13. The Titans offense trotting back out for their 1st involvement of this 2nd half. They'll begin inside their own 15-yard line, so a lot of real estate to cover. It's 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This one is caught downfield by Ridley. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield.
Mike, what we're seeing play out across the NFL is that if offensively it requires you to go the length of the field in a long, methodical drive, your chances of coming away with points continue to go down the more you snap the ball. You have to be able to generate shot plays, pick up big, explosive chunks, because when you do, your ability to score points typically tends to follow.
They run it straight ahead with Pollard. And a good job following his blockers, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down. They'll run once more, and it's Pollard again. And nothing on that one, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it.
What makes great linebackers stand out from the pack is their instincts and their vision. In this case, the linebacker has his keys, brings him right where the ball is going, and he's able to make a play at the point of attack and keep this to a no gain.
Now, faking the give, and that is incomplete.
Well defended there. The quarterback's trying to attack this defense outside the numbers. Those really wide-angled throws near the sideline sometimes can be very hard to defend, so give a lot of credit to this secondary. They were all on the same page, and the ball falls incomplete.
And this is no good. Could not get it on target. And they are not able to draw closer.
And this is the danger of trying these long field goals. Remember, Mike, if you miss, the other team gets the ball at the spot of the kick. So it's going to end up setting them up for great field position as they start this next drive.
Boy, some bulk in the formation on that right side here for 1st and 10. Watson. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end.
Recognizing the blitz is just the first step in the process for a quarterback, understanding who you can account for with the protection and then who you can't account for. That's where your hot receiver comes in. He points to his receiver who the defender they're hot off of. That guy comes, gets the ball out of his hand, and results in a completion.
Oh, and this one's going to wind up incomplete. That's one you'd think he'd be able to corral. But he can't find the handle, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
A rare miss for a quarterback that we've seen really come out on fire throughout this entire contest. I mean, his completion percentage, Mike, is well above league average, and frankly, it's really the biggest reason why they find themselves out in front.
To his tight end, Njoku. And he will have the 1st down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
He's in a really nice rhythm here on 3rd down. He appears very comfortable operating out of the gun, and he's able to find his man near the sideline, and he's able to extend this drive.
From the 39, here's a 1st and 10. They bring Judy in motion. They show jet sweep and instead run it up the middle. The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3. On 2nd down, here's Watson. He's going to tuck it and go. And they will take him down at the 20-yard line.
You know, Mike, I like everything about this play except the very end. You've already picked up good yardage. You've already picked up the 1st down. Now get down on the ground and protect yourself. There's no reason to take those shots.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. A give to Ford on the zone read. And he'll plow forward for a gain of 4 yards. Here's a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Ford. And he'll be brought down on what will be the final act here in this 3rd quarter. So these two teams take the long walk to the opposite end of the stadium. We've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. An opportunity for what could be a game-sealing touchdown right here. First down and goal. Now Watson. And he's into the end zone. That might be the knockout punch. Deshaun Watson. Touchdown, Cleveland. Everything you want to do right there, Greg, in the fourth quarter. Get the ball with the lead and extend it to a 2-score advantage.
Yeah, and I think this just might end up being too much to overcome. You said it. Once you get a 2-score lead this late in the fourth quarter, there's just not enough possessions to be had to claw yourself back in it.
Hopkins now to tack on the extra point. It's up and good. And the Browns are out to a 21-10 lead. Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. A return now from the 4. And their drive will begin at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Tennessee offense. They get set to see what they can do. The deficit is double digits, so work to do as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. Back to throw here to begin the drive. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
I know it fell for an incompletion, but pretty impressive. He was able to push that ball really far downfield as he was being hit. Really says a lot about the arm strength that this quarterback has.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Back to throw. He's got it. That's Burks. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules. And the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open, that's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend. You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that ball out of his hand and live to play another snap. Some teams just have a stronger appetite for being willing to go for 4th down tries, even on their side of the field, Mike, and we're seeing it so much more often. The days of just punting the ball back and forth and saying, hey, we're going to play good defense. Remember, the better your defense, that doesn't mean you should punt. The better your defense, the more chances you should take on offense.
Down the right sideline. And he will score. Game on. Chig Okonkwo. Touchdown, Titans. Greg, they are pecking away at this one now. Very big touchdown. Gets them right within reach of pulling this comeback off.
Well, Mike, at the very least, they've given themselves a chance, but can they get a stop and get the ball back again for a chance to go down and really make this one interesting?
Big 2-point conversion now coming for the Titans.
The Titans will line up for the 2-point conversion.
He'll look to throw. That'll be caught. And this is not going to work out as planned. Tough spot to try to run a play like that. It is blown up behind the line.
So they decide to put the ball in the air, which I don't mind on this 2-point try, but their execution was just a little bit off, and it's not going to work out in their favor this time around.
Joey Slide.
So, things a little more interesting now. Back to a one-score game as they kick it away. On the return, it's Jerome Ford. And they'll be set up well as he is past the 35-yard line. Now it's the Browns' turn as they get set to take over again on offense. The lead is 5 as they're going to start with this first down. They bring Judy in motion. They fake the jet sweep and will hand it up the middle. A gain of 4 as he's taken down. Now a handoff to Ford. And they get this one across midfield to the 47-yard line.
And this running game has really been rolling, Mike, all game long. The holes, the run lanes, they've been there consistently. Here's another nice run as they look to put this game away.
They'll come up here, 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Ford. And a nice run there. He'll be stopped just shy of a first down. A pickup of 9.
You know, there's all this talk, Mike, about the value of the run game in today's NFL. You know when the run game matters? It matters right now. 4th quarter, you've got the lead. Can you lean on your running back and offensive line to close this game out?
On 2nd down, it's Ford. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line.
4th quarter, you find yourself protecting a one-possession lead. It's a fine line, Mike, between do I keep the ball on the ground, continue to work the clock, or stay aggressive, try to extend this lead to a multiple-possession game. That's the balance this play caller is dealing with right now.
On 1st down, it's Watson. That's caught by Ford. And he'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel in. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Number 2, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection, and maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable out of the backfield in the passing game.
On the handoff, Ford. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. And quickly, the clock stops again. Defense taking the timeout. $1:54 to go. Down at the 12. It's 1st and 10. On the ground, this is Ford. He's down inside the 10. A gain of 4. Whistles here and a timeout. Defense going to take this one with 1:51 to go. This give to Ford, heading right. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one. This crowd into it now as we get to 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. And he'll take it on in. Cedric Tillman. Touchdown, Browns. 2 touchdowns for him now on the afternoon.
And that's exactly how you stress all week, finishing a game. Get the ball and leave no doubt. But that late touchdown, Mike, that should all but just seal this victory away.
Now Hopkins on to add the extra point. He knocks it through. And the Browns will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter. Here's Hopkins now after the touchdown. He'll boot this one away. Here comes a return from the 3. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Titans offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he has been in control of this offense. Want to run you through some of the action from earlier on. You've got the 2 touchdown passes, over 200 passing yards. He has been excellent all game long. They'll come up for 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw. Connecting with his tight end, Okonkwo. Here's 2nd down. They'll throw out of the gun. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
It's a gain of 12 there. 1st down for Tennessee.
3rd downs, Mike, those are quarterback downs. Those are the downs where you tend to find yourself in a must-pass situation, and that's where the top guys in the league are still capable of overcoming it. So throw the ball downfield, be accurate with the ball. Winning on 3rd downs, that is a recipe for success.
And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Receiver just finds himself in a really nice groove, and there's these weird times in the game, Mike, where it just seems like every ball comes your way, every play they call, you're wide open, and you just find yourself in one of those grooves that athletes talk about. So they got to continue to ride the hot hand because right now on that field, there's no mistaking who it is.
He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
Really nice job with the protection up front. Just nobody could get open downfield. So it's a combination of your offensive weapons have to do a better job taking advantage of that time to work and separate. But also, how impressive is that by that defense to be able to cover for that amount of time?
They'll throw here on 3rd and short yardage. That is incomplete, so the task gets more difficult. Time for maybe 2 plays. That's it.
For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball. I mean, he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push the ball downfield, hasn't really translated on the scoreboard just yet.
Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down. And he'll be taken down at the 10-yard line. So it's a win for the visiting Cleveland Browns. They proved much the best in this one. get a solid performance in all three phases of the game and ride that to victory. And that'll do it for my partner, Greg Olson. For our entire team, I'm Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone.